Alright, cutting back in here, we have just received this very, very disturbing image from this artist, which is an amalgamation of the pattern that we picked up at the crime scene, along with the patterns that we stole from the police office.
The reconstruct.
The stars? I've got a couple of thoughts. I'm going to go back to St. George's books, because I believe I might have an idea about how to track down Cazaunoux. After that, we'll go to the university.
Hey, Grace.
Oh boy.
Indeed. It was 1280, wasn't it?
Some
1280.
that doesn't.
Now, I can't think of any reason why this would be here if it wasn't important. But Cazaunoux owns a dog. What are the odds? 6170. I've got no memory of this, to be very clear. This is just a gut feeling that I've got.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to ask that.
Do you have a Madame Cazaunoux as a client?
Madame Cazaunoux? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
This won't work.
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I've got to say that one. It's the only one that's relevant.
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
And that's how we used to social engineer people back in the day, kids. Oh god. Gabriel is up to no good. What are the odds of that, though? I mean, I get it. Maybe you're looking yourself up in the phone book and you see a vet nearby. Yep, okay, let's use that. But you really wouldn't look up your own name in the phone book, I would have thought. That's a very strange thing to do. Also, back in the day, kids, we had these things called phone books that listed everyone's phone. I'll shut up. That travel agency also looks like it might be relevant, just due to its size. See the World Travel Agency. Very cute. Okay, we've got another new destination.
I'm going out.
Uh-huh.
We, possibly broke the law to get it. So, we have someone here who is either a fortune teller and or a belly dancer. Mosley is interrogating someone at the police station. We can go to the Cazaunoux Residence. And we can also go to the university. I kind of want to go here first because I think we're going to get some useful information. They're doing a lecture on voodoo, whatever that is.
It looks like the lecture is just starting. Gabriel decides to record the session.
Good.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. The one tribe would conquer another, and the loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's loa pantheon.
What is a loa?
In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the loa.
There we go.
During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the loa, and this is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen as a horse, and the loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity.
That's what we're dreaming about. The tiger or leopard.
Some of the older original Africa loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezruli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo or Gede, the lord of death, Agwe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
No leopards.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Haunfors. Their priests, Hungan or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa.
We've heard that.
In a voodoo Haunfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a poto mitan. The ritual circle is prepared with a veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special loa. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson,
We've seen this. That's at the museum.
the ritual knife or kubasa,
Possibly
That
that.
knife gives me the chills.
Yeah, we saw that in our dream.
the ritual whip or fouet cache,
There we go. It's a whip.
and the ritual coffin or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She... butterflies.
We're about to pass out.
Fireflies.
Firelight. No, what is it? Gabriel?
What? I can't see.
Gabriel! Get in!
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel. Hide.
The coffin.
No, let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God, sorry.
There was a lot of stuff there, holy crap. So firstly and most importantly, I apologise because we heard the word amalgamation twice in about 5 minutes, once from me and once from the game. I swear I did not set that up. I apologise for that. So the fouet cache is a whip. That gourd, we've seen that at the museum. And I'll just say it right now, the Seki Madule, or however that's pronounced, I remember what we do with that. That is one of the things that I absolutely remember about this game. I need to see if we have the recording anywhere.
This is the
Voodoo is the word. All of this spirit,
Okay, so
the height of voodoo.
just give me a short sentence, please. That'll do. So I can at least review this if needed, but I think there's a lot of information there. It didn't mention anything about a leopard lower, the one that we're seeing in the dream. But the Beve, however that's pronounced. I mean, that sort of leads credence to the fact that the voodoo murders are in fact real, and what the media is saying is total bullshit.
the reconstructed.
I mean, that looks pretty dang real to me. But then again, I am not a voodoo practitioner, chat, so I don't know if that's real or not, but it certainly looks real enough, and it freaked out the technical artist, to some extent at least, so maybe? I think it's real. Alright, let's have a look around here.
Gabriel's in one of the lecture halls at Tulane University.
I'm just so glad that is recorded. I mean, I can go back and look at the start of video 7 anytime I like, but having that on tape in-game I think is going to be very useful.
A lighted sign says, "Exit." That door exits the lecture hall. Those doors lead to the projection booth.
We'll try there next.
There's a PA speaker on the wall. There's a door on one side of the stage. The podium. Hartridge's throne. The seats are the fold-down kind.
The worst kind.
Gabriel's in one of the... A projection screen dominates the front of the hall.
What have we here?
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring. Gabriel, there's a notice for a lecture on investigative reporting techniques to be given by octogenarian Pulitzer Prize winner Laura Bo Dorian. Unfortunately, it's weeks away. By that time, Gabriel will have to have learned on his own.
Haven't played the Laura Bow games. Hopefully they're good. I do want to check them out someday.
Gabriel scans the book. Need a ride to LA the last weekend in August.
I wouldn't go there if you paid me.
Given the current political situation, I agree.
Gabriel, work out of your home and make up to $2,000 a week in your spare time. Call 555-6789.
That sounds awesome.
I actually called them once. You sell cat food over the phone.
God damn it. I was thinking it would be drugs, but no.
Gabriel scan. Ha! We'll do algebra or biology homework for food.
I don't think that's a laughing matter, but okay.
Jazz jam session every Tuesday at 7 in the music building.
Okay, so these are not individual items. I can just click here and get something new.
Gabriel's haircuts for $10 a head. Perms for $20 at the Tulane Beauty School West Campus.
Like I'd let an amateur touch these locks.
Gabriel, Greek night. There's a no...
We're looping. I can try calling that number, but I don't think we're going to get anything useful out of it. He actually called that number, though.
There's nothing of interest on that side of the lecture hall.
That's bad.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Another location.
Dr. Hartridge's office is crowded with masks, carved figures, and strange objects.
He's into voodoo or voodoo as well. But this place looks significantly less creepy than the Historical Voodoo Museum.
The carved stone head looks African and very old. The squatter grins maliciously at Gabriel. That mask is quite hideous. It's Hartridge's file cabinet.
Can I kick you out and go through that perhaps?
An old globe sits atop Hartridge's file cabinet. The door leads back to the lecture hall.
Tries to look at that thing hanging off the ceiling.
The door, Exotic fish lend even more color to the cluttered office. The shelves behind Hartridge's desk are full of old books. It's an enormous stone head.
Looks like it might be off Easter Island or something.
Dr. Hartridge's desk is remarkably neat, especially considering the rest of the room. The visitor's chair looks unsteady and a little low to the ground.
Can I assist in that?
Did you know there's a whole branch of archaeology devoted to garbage? Maybe you should look into it. Did you know there's a whole branch...
That's a delightful fourth wall break.
Dr. Hartridge's... The squatter grins.
Alright, not getting anything else. Can I sit on the chair? Yes.
That's right. Just make yourself at home.
Indeed.
Dr. Hartridge is sharp-eyed and even sharper-tongued. When he condescends to look at Gabriel at all, it's with a dismissive glare.
Condescends to look at us. Lovely writing.
Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud I didn't think you'd heard it.
You must travel a lot.
Yes, to Africa, mainly.
I suppose having all this voodoo stuff sitting around doesn't make you nervous at all.
It's voodoo stuff, and no. Why should it?
I'm very interested in voodoo myself right now.
How nice for you.
Hey, you've got quite a collection of goodies here.
My travels have been rewarding, yes.
Your lecture was... You must, I suppose, have... Very... Hey, you...
It looks like it is a straight loop. I'll hold off showing you the VV for now. Veve, however you pronounce it. Let's see if we can interrogate you.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
He's allowing us, okay. Let's run through the list. Oh, okay, that's a new global subject. We can ask everyone about that. I'll hold off doing it on this video because I've already got enough to do on this video.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
That's all right. I've got the tape.
What can you...
You already...
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit, to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treats voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
Okay, so he does believe in the whole spirits thing.
What do you know about...
As I said, I don't know anything but what the papers say. According to them, there's no reason for me to be interested.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo.
Note to self, go to the cemetery.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should read my books.
Hey, I'm a writer too.
What else?
If there's more,
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
it's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. But June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
A burning wheel? Huh.
I've actually cut my reaction there because I yelled, "Oh, there we go, finally." That is 3 days away. Today is June the 20th.
What can you tell me about...
I'm not in the habit of repeating myself, Mr. Knight.
I've got you on tape. It's fine. You're a knowledgeable man, but can you speak French?
Do you have any idea what Cabri-Sans-Coeur means?
Take that as a yes.
Cabri-Sans-Coeur. Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice.
Ugh.
Sacrifices in Voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
So the guy at the store, Willie, was talking about a human sacrifice. Lovely.
What was that translation for Cabri-Sans-Coeur again?
I'm not in the habit of repeating myself, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of Voodoo somewhat interesting from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true Voodoo practices.
Do you know anything about...
I'm not in the...
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African Voodoo religions.
Willie sold us his mask though, which makes me think he's not directly involved with anything. He probably knows more than he's letting on, but he sold us the mask, and if that's important to a ritual or something, then he's just given it away for $100.
Do you know...
I'm not...
Tell me about Veves.
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
There. Trying to remember that. I won't, but I'll try. There.
Tell me about...
If you'd taken...
Tell me about yourself.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies.
Should I know what that means?
I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
No.
Fine.
Okay.
I'd really like to know more about you.
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets. If you want a biography, read.
Will any of those book jackets talk about your sex life?
I'd really like to know more.
There have been several articles.
That was an utterly bizarre way of finishing that, Jesus.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most Voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible if that's the gods' demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Azuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Azuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Hungan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that the Loa will simply take it for themselves.
I'm going to need to review everything that you just said because the second half of that went completely over my head.
Tell me more.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most Voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
No, but we've potentially got 7 in a very short period of time here. Okay, well that's all very useful information. I'm going to need to review that offline perhaps. What do you make of this?
Can you tell me anything about this pattern?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back.
We do not get the opportunity to snoop while he's gone.
Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating Veve. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself. Each of the symbols in the Veve represents something, a loa, a place. Where did you get this?
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
Here we go.
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this Veve is authentic, then?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm, undercover. You can contact me at the St. George's bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this if you don't mind.
I mean, if we're going to participate in an interrogation, which is what I'm going to do next, with the police, then you can just say yes. At this point, we're basically balls deep in this thing. Alright, so he believes that this is entirely authentic. And yeah, it was put together by a technical artist. Maybe he's in on it as well, but I doubt it.
Up for a few more questions?
Gee, I'd love to.
And he immediately goes back into his dry way of speaking.
Can you tell me anything about that Veve I showed you?
I told you I would research it, Mr. Knight. When I have anything concrete, I'll let you know.
I don't think that's going to change his disposition towards us for any of these options.
Do you know?
I wouldn't dwell on it. There have been several...
Yeah, nah, let's just, hang on.
What do you know?
Just what I read in the papers until you showed me that Veve. I wasn't interested before, but now... Yes, I'd like to figure out where these people come from, and what they're up to. They are obviously some very frightening and deadly serious voodoo.
What do you know?
I'm hoping you'll tell me more about it.
What was that
I'm not...
What?
I'm...
Okay, thanks.
Good day, Mr. Knight.
Alright, so I feel like we made some progress there. It is not immediate progress, but it's something. We're going to get a call later, perhaps.
Gabriel does not need to enter the projection booth.
We're not going in there. We have another contact. Oh boy, where to next? I can ask people about Veves now. Let's go to the police station because there's definitely something we can do there. And participate in some sort of interrogation.
Got a second, officer?
What do you know?
Do you know anything about Veve?
Reves? Never heard of it.
That's definitely a no. Okay, so Mosley left a message to go here. Can't spell. Hopefully there's someone else in this office and the cage is reinstalled around a thermostat. Anyone in here?
Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
Are you cool with
I'm
this?
sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy, anyway?
That's Crash.
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. Well, he's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning at Jackson Square. Pushing coke? He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
I remembered this guy vaguely.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. You been present at the so-called voodoo ritual?
I don't know nothing. I told you.
Oh, come on now, you can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go, man.
Now, you relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were plainclothesmen.
Plain clothes, like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Who's
Now,
they?
who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. Now, you tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you in the witness protection program. But you have to earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Don't make me laugh. Jesus, just let me out of here.
Now, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
By now they know I'm here. I mean, it's different when I'm supposed to come here. Or if I can send a message. Tell him I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's frickin' useless. Take him back to detaining, would you, Tony?
I recall we can interrogate him later and have a full conversation, but I don't remember the rest of his story.
I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum and damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
How about no?
Huh? Hell no. Damn! We only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I might have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. For the book, I mean. Maybe you can punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction, that's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
Alright, so maybe we can have a chat to him tomorrow if he doesn't get picked up by whoever's doing these murders and wakes up missing a heart or something.
Can I ask you about some... Do you know anything about veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight. That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These veves...
Look, just stop worrying about them marks. I don't think they're relevant.
He's trying to push this investigation in a certain direction. We've just been told by the university lecturer that they are genuine.
What do you know?
What else do you want?
Oh, sure.
Case status?
What's the status on the voodoo murders case?
It sure as hell ain't going well. There's a lot of brakes being applied in different areas of the investigation. We're getting some real info on the victims now, and they're not exactly upstanding citizens. And I was hoping to get more out of Crash, but he's scared shitless. We'll have to let him go tomorrow morning.
Maybe I can have a chat to him. I'm not a police officer, but as a civilian, maybe I can get some information out of him. I have a certain way with people.
What's the status on...
I told you, it's going for shit.
About this pattern, he's not going to be interested.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
That's cute, Gabriel. Almost looks legit. I'm sure our police artists would be amused at your techniques.
And yet we can't tell him that a university lecturer has seen these and thinks they're entirely legit.
You know those...
The symbols representing the lower and all the rest of it. Okay. Can I ski with his head?
I have this.
That's nice, but...
Okay. I was hoping that would be more entertaining, but it was not.
Well,
Later now.
Maybe we'll get to speak to Crash tomorrow somewhere. After the 24 hours has passed. Okay. Again, we've got someone in Jackson Square. We can go there. That's entirely new. I think I'll go here very briefly. Oh, the cemetery. The cemetery, the cemetery, the cemetery.
The voodoo.
It's the same message.
Gabriel.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the game wasn't being sneaky and changing the message on me. Fuck's sake, let me out, please. Let me go to the Moonbeam residence. Let me ask her about Veves.
Gabriel Knight.
Hello.
I've not forgotten about that snakeskin.
Please, be seated.
Could I ask you,
Thoughts?
do you know anything about Veves?
I don't know anything about that.
Nothing. I guess they were not a part of Hoodoo. I'll show it to you.
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic symbols. Deep magic.
Really? Have you seen them before?
No?
Then how do you know they're magic symbols?
Seeker, my eyes are unveiled to see truly that which is in front of me.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Tons.
I think that's exactly the same as what we got when we showed the individual pieces of the pattern.
Well,
Which is a bit of a bummer, really.
As you wish.
How do we get that snakeskin laser? Don't know. Right, Dr. John?
hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
I want to look at 3 things in here.
That gourd must be an assault.
That is.
They might not...
There's no Gabriel. Gabriel. That knife looks familiar. Probably from Hartridge's slide.
What do you call it? A kubasa?
Yeah, that's changed. And this, I distinctly remember this. This is the Seki Madule, or however it's pronounced.
Professor Hartridge said that in Voodoo, a small ritual coffin is called a seke madule.
I distinctly recall what we can do with that. I remembered a couple of puzzles from this game, and that was definitely one of them. Alright.
Could I ask...
Of course.
Does Veve mean anything to you?
Do you know anything about Veves?
I believe they have something to do with Haitian voodoo, but that is not really my area.
This guy's lying through his teeth.
Do you know...
I just get that vibe.
Does this pattern look familiar to you?
Where did you get that?
You do recognize it then?
Here we go.
I have never seen it before in my life.
Are you sure about this pattern?
I am sure, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, we are unnerving him here.
Dr. John.
We do not see the ritual whip anywhere in here, unless that's it here. Is that it?
Don't the Voodoo call a ritual whip a fouet cache?
There we go.
It's an electrical switch.
This guy knows a lot more than he's letting on. But
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
I missed that every other time I was here. That causes the snake to freak out.
A very large, there's a beaten up old fan in the window. It's silent at the moment. The fan might operate, but not that way.
I'm gonna make a save and try that again. I don't think anything bad will happen, but let me just do it anyway.
Gabriel has no interest in the noisy fan at the moment.
It provoked a reaction out of the snake, which makes me think that maybe later if something is on top of that. Maybe the snake can move us.
Gabriel can... Unless Gabriel...
Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Come back.
So the lecturer has given us the information about the items in the museum. That's good to know. What else can I do before I go check out Cazaunoux's place? I can go back there. I don't know what to do with you though in the square. Gambling oil, perhaps? This poor fellow's still playing chess.
Could I...
You won't know anything.
Do you know any...
Never heard of it.
I don't know why I bothered coming here. Let's go check out Cazaunoux place.
Gabriel stands at the door of an old French Quarter residence. The neighborhood is a little shabby, but this particular building is freshly painted. Well-worn stone steps lead up to the front door. The door frame is a beautiful example of traditional New Orleans architecture.
Don't judge me, I think it looks awful.
The front door is solid hardwood and at least a century old. Like many New Orleans buildings, this one is accented with ornamental wrought iron. Pretty shutters frame the windows. Hall windows flank the front of the mansion.
It is actually a mansion, okay.
It would be better to be invited inside. It would... It's an ornate brass door knocker. The front door...
Yes? Who is it?
Hi, I'm doing an article on voodoo, and I heard that you...
I am a good Catholic, young man. Take your evil influence elsewhere.
But I just have a few questions.
I can feel the evil eye. Go away.
Alright, I remember how to get in there.
Alright, but this is private.
She's lying through her teeth. Looking good there, Gabriel.
Is this convincing enough?
It'll do.
Yes? Who is it?
Please don't do the accent, Gabriel.
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Fucking hell.
Well, Father, you should be ashamed of yourself being so ill-groomed. I am sure the bishop would never approve. You can just go get a haircut before you come calling on me again. I know my duty, Father, but a priest seeking contributions should take pains to represent the church with respect.
Who even is this lady? Her saying that, but then attending the voodoo store like that and asking questions, it's like... I get that she's living a double life, but geez. Jojo's on.
The things I do for my art.
Not getting a haircut? We're just going to tidy it up slightly. How about now?
It's Father Gabriel.
Indeed.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
I see you've taken my advice, Father. I didn't mean to be harsh, but the church is the church.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Come in, Father. Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
She went to the voodoo store and yet, look at her place.
The painting behind the couch is a Madonna and Child.
This is so weird.
It's a painting of a pretty young lady in old-fashioned clothes.
Madame, in younger days?
Good heavens, no, Father.
Madame Cazaunoux looks fragile and pale under a thick layer of face powder. If Gabriel is not mistaken, she's a slice short of a loaf.
I can't even look at the dog, let alone potentially pass it, but it's one of those little yappy bastards that'll probably take your hand off, or a finger at least.
It's Madame's front hall. Madame's parlor is full of carefully dusted and polished relics of her past. Madame's antiques are probably worth something. Madame finds comfort in these iconic images, it seems.
Why was she at that store?
Madame seems to like candles. Gabriel wonders if these two are specialties of Mr. Walker's shop.
Exactly.
Madame, the upholstered chair is less comfortable than it looks. There's an old-fashioned jewelry box on the coffee table. A low wooden coffee table sits in front of the sofa. Like all good hostesses, Madame has candy out for her guests. These appear to be several decades old.
Was just about to ask if I could take one, but I think I'll pass.
The folding screen has a colorful pattern. It looks oriental. The plant looks healthy, despite Gabriel's vague impression that Castro makes great use of it. Madame's parlor, an old table lamp with a fringed shade, gives off what little light there is in the parlor. A small table holds a lamp, a photo, and a plaster saint. The tea service has been polished recently. Madame uses it with her Creole sisters, perhaps?
Not sure who they are.
The sofa is velvet, and it is wearing nearly as much of Madame Cazaunoux' face powder as Madame is herself.
Alright, so let's have a chat.
It's so nice of you to invite me in.
Ah, but no, mon père. I am always happy to see one of the good fathers.
You're not going to ask me how I got your address or anything like that?
Do you find the weather to your liking?
It's terribly humid. I only go out in the morning and evening.
Have you been attending Mass regularly, my child?
Oh, yes, Father. I attend Mass every morning. Many don't these days, you know.
You are dedicated, Madame. It's so nice.
Ah, but
Do you find the weather? Have you been... Have you been...
We're just sleeping.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Well, let's just interrogate her. That portrait.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Ah, people think I'm just a foolish old woman. But I know the things they do. My family's been in New Orleans since 1750. So I know more than most. Voodoo people are all over this city. In the shops. Everywhere. They'll curse you like that. And most people don't even notice. Spit on your bread at the bakery. Take strands of your hair at the store when you try on the clothes. You have to be so careful. But I know their ways, so I can protect myself. I know how to use the magic too, and I can counteract their evil spells.
And yet you describe yourself as a devout Catholic. Okay.
Tell me more about voodoo in New Orleans.
It's just plain evil. It's dangerous to even discuss it.
Tell me, what do you know about the voodoo murders?
Voodoo murders? Ha! They are nothing new to me, Father. They happen all the time. I hardly go out anymore. It's too dangerous in the streets. They can get you anywhere, you know. Even here in this room. But I try not to let them know about me. That's the best way.
What do you know about...
Shh. They'll hear you.
What do you...
Nothing more.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
The only true New Orleanians are of French origin, you know. My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans. Now it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
I have to be honest, I have no idea if that's true or not, about New Orleans having a French background.
What can you tell me about...
You know, I can stroll the streets of the French Quarter and see in my mind's eye the way it used to be. It was wonderful in the old days.
Granny's hallucinating, kids.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans isn't what it used to be, I can tell you. There's too few of the real people left.
What can you...
New Orleans...
I assume the real people being the French.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Mais oui! I used to love the St. John's Eve Mass at Sandwick Cathedral. Of course, it is also a night of great wickedness, worse than All Hallows Eve. They will corrupt anything, Father.
They? They who?
Oh, you know.
Elaborate.
What can you tell me?
I don't think I should say any more about that.
I do wonder if our grandmother knows about you. Indirectly.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sans Corps means?
Mais oui, I know. I bet you do not, Father, n'est-ce pas?
Interesting. So, I came here thinking that she would be the one to give me the translation because she speaks French. But we learnt that from the university.
It means goat without horns.
Oh, Father, you surprise me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being.
She knows as well.
That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
It's one thing to know the direct translation, but she understands the implication of that. Okay.
That Cabri Sans Corps thing.
Do not continue to tease me, Father. You know what it means as well as I.
I'm going to push you on it in just a moment.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
Oh?
She was only a front for the real evildoers, Father. And that's the truth about Marie Laveau.
That's a mistake.
Tell me more.
I have not asked about Marie Laveau.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
I'm also a fan of Mardi Gras.
Do you know any...
No.
Do you know anything about Veves?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
It won't stop me from showing you the pattern.
Do you know...
No.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I am Creole. My family has been in New Orleans for over 200 years. Real New Orleanians are French, you see. These days the city is overrun with people with no heritage at all. No offense, Father, but it's true. But the French, naturellement, will always be the true blood of New Orleans.
Tell me about you.
Well, Father, I don't know what else to say.
Fairly boring individual. Right, so let's talk about this.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans. But the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Can you tell me anything else about...
What is there to tell? They cut your heart out.
Didn't mean to skip that. Okay, I do wonder if the media actually mentions that they've had their hearts cut out. If not, then she knows a lot more. Well, she knows a lot. Let's leave it at that.
Who were the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a front, a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
We've heard the names Widow Paris, Marie Glapion, I've probably written that down wrong. And she's now saying that this has been going on for a lot longer.
Is there anything else you remember about the real Voodoo Queen?
Well, my great-grandmother said that the real Voodoo Queen was the most beautiful woman on earth. She had the most incredible copper-colored skin.
Take notes, Gabriel.
Is there anything...
Well, they are all brides of Satan. Other than that, I can't think of anything.
Who's the most beautiful person that you know, Gabriel? Oh god, I've got another one here.
Tell me more about this secret Voodoo Hound Four.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear the drums at night, oh yes. That's why I am so ill. I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there. I can tell you. I'll show you something. Something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if there ever was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
Oh, I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though its vibes aren't great. Let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now, let us pray.
I distinctly recall what I have to do here, but I don't have the item. So, as long as that jewellery box is lined with lead or something, it's probably fine.
It's a bracelet in the shape of a snake.
It's a token to get us into a voodoo ceremony. At the temple or the Hanfor or whatever it's called. I'm going to need to take a break in a bit because this video is coming up to about an hour and take some notes and review all this, but I distinctly recall what I have to do with this because of just how bizarre it is.
I think that's enough, Father.
Oh, right. Here you go.
She keeps it in her jewellery box. Are you going to take that off me, please? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Scum VM, please. Shit. Pushing buttons and not much is happening. I think I might have just bugged the game. Shit. I don't think I'm getting out of this. The bracelet is so cursed that we can't give it back to her. Alright, give me a moment. I'll come back here in a sec. Alright, back here. Let's ask this question again. She talks about the drums. We've seen a lot of drummers around the place though.
Oh.
Yeah, she just did not want to take us off us last time. Okay. I know what we have to do with that. 1,000,000%. The problem is I don't have the item.
Madame will open or close her own jewelry box. That looks a little large to carry around.
Can I have a candy?
The candy looks too old to be edible.
That's a no.
That looks... Father McLaughlin would never steal from one of his flocks.
No, but I would.
That looks a...
Can I operate anything here, maybe?
There is no... Gabriel can... If Madame wants to serve tea, she will do the pouring.
Can I offer?
Madame's jewelry box is for her use only. A crucifix is a rather personal item. Gabriel wouldn't want to use Madame's.
Can I use the dog?
Madame Cazaunoux would not appreciate that. That doesn't work that way. That doesn't work.
I can move around in here. So I don't think there's anything I can do.
That looks a little... That...
Can I hide behind there?
There is... Madame's jewelry box is for her. The cabinet is Madame's property to use as she wishes.
Alright. Give me a moment, I just need to use my brain. There is only one place where I can think of finding this item.
Gabriel cannot...
Well, madame, I must be going.
Of course, Father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
If I can find the item, I'll come back here.
I'm not going back on the street looking like this.
Damn it. You could really impress Grace, just saying. Trying to go up. To here.
Gabriel is on the sand and clay shore of Lake Pontchartrain, at the site where some poor bastard got to see who the voodoo murderers really are. The site is now deserted.
Alright, you just said the C word.
Gabriel, the lake, but but you would the bank. The banks of Lake Pontchartrain are rich with clay deposits.
Oh no.
The banks.
No, there's nothing to indicate that that is a hotspot.
But you wouldn't.
That, along with the gift voucher. Oh. Yeah, I'm beginning to remember why I didn't really enjoy this game. I can grab that, can't I?
Is that clay? Yuck.
You say yuck, but it's going to come in very handy in just a moment. This was the only place I could think of which had moisture. Nothing else was coming to mind, so that's why I checked that out. That's going off memory though, and I'm sure I looked at a walkthrough for that. Are you smart enough to do this?
Yes.
Wrong house.
Fine. Good day.
God damn it, Gabriel.
The things I'd...
You know what you have to do.
Alright.
We've seen it once before. I'm going to make another save just in case the game decides to not hand over the bracelet again.
It would be better.
Yes.
It's Father McLaughlin back again, don't you know?
Yes, Father. Come on in.
Why the accent? I don't guess it.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Why not just use an American name, and you can use an American accent? I don't know.
Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions, madame?
If you wish, Father.
I do wish it. Show me that again, please.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound four.
I told you, we shouldn't talk about it.
Can I see that snake bracelet again? I'm not sure the first blessing took, and I'd like to re-bless it.
All right. I do admire your thoroughness, Father.
This honestly makes no sense.
Here's the bracelet, Father.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Let it do no voodoo spirit. And now.
This makes no sense.
Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse Oh, take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
It makes no sense. Firstly, it's a terrible rhyme. Secondly, we can't make a clay impression of that directly in front of her. There have been plenty of Sierra games with bad puzzles. This is right up there in my opinion.
It's a clay mold of Madame Cazaunoux's snake bracelet.
I don't recall what I can do with that though.
Well, madame, I must be going.
Of course, father.
Tending my flock. Let's go talk to Grace and we'll close off this video.
I'm not going back on the street looking like this.
But you could look glorious in front of Grace, dude. We're not done with day 3 yet, so I need to find something else to do.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Oh, joy.
For a moment I thought there was something on the side there. Can I request any research?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some
Sure.
Oh, jeez. I completely forgot to show the Veve to Madame Cazaunoux. I don't think she'll know anything about it. I might just cut it into the end of this video very briefly. Can you research his pattern, please? Even though we've got a researcher at a university who understands voodoo, who is also looking into it.
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want, but check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
Get points for it.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fool?
In New Orleans?
I think so.
No, I don't. But it sounds dangerous. You're not gonna try to find this voodoo group yourself, are you?
Would I do that?
He's totally gonna do it. And by he, I mean us.
You're sure you don't know anything about a secret voodoo temple?
She wouldn't know.
No, I don't. But if it exists, I wish you'd stay away from it.
Madame Moonbeam might know, Dr. John definitely knows. Maybe Willie knows? There's a few people who can ask about that, but that potentially has consequences. Let's leave here and I'll try and figure out what to do next. I've got 2 thoughts. Firstly, we need to find out who Wolfgang Ritter is. And secondly, we need to learn what to do with the lady inside Jackson Square. Apart from that though, once again, I'm not sure what to do next. Sort of just wandering around here blindly, trying to figure it out.
Do you know anything about this?
I did research for you on that already, Gabriel.
There you have it.
Right, exactly.
I just asked you to do it, you haven't done it yet. I get it though. Alright, back soon.
See you later.
See ya.
What can I do for you?
You can tell me about this. Maybe.
Does this mean anything to you?
No, father, it does not.
That's basically what I was expecting. And not that. Actually, yeah. Do you recognize his phone number?
Does this mean any?
No.
Does this?
No, father.
Nah, she doesn't know anything. I think the key for her is just to get that impression of the bracelet, so that we can use that later to get into the ceremony.
Gabriel can...
If indeed we can get into a ceremony.
Well, madame.
But I've got a vague memory of that as well. Alright, I'll see you next time.